Kendall here with Lousy Llama Creations. Today we're going to be talking about some beginner basics for crochet. I have a 5mm crochet hook and some spare yarn, and we're going to go over basics like doing chains, slip knots, single crochets, half double crochets, double crochets, fastening off, and weaving in your ends. As well as we're talking about how to hold your yarn, how to hold your hook, and some variations that you can go from there. This video is just to kind of give you an idea about what crochet is and some of the basics you'll need to create most of my patterns, as well as just a lot of patterns out there in the crochet world. Everything I teach in this video is generally what goes into all of my patterns, except for a magic ring, but that's a whole nother video. These are great skills to learn to kind of get you focused, get you started, and see what you like. This is Peanut. She'll also be helping me. She loves to pop into videos. Let's jump right in and start working. There's a ton of ways to hold your crochet hook, but there are two main ones, and then there's a lot of variations off of those. First one's pencil grip, which you hold it like a pencil. The other is a knife grip, you hold it like a knife. In all of my videos, you're gonna see me doing a knife grip because I try to demonstrate pencil grip and people have told me I do it wrong. So I would look up another video if you wanna see pencil grip. But this is how I hold my knife grip. This is me actually holding my hook while I'm crocheting. I have it wrapped around my palm. And then you might notice I'm moving my fingers a lot, and that's because I find it easier to kind of grip the yarn, move it around. But I use knife grip, just because it's more comfortable for me. And there's some variations off of this, like maybe hold it further down or closer up, or less fingers, like whatever makes you feel comfortable, that's the way you should crochet. Do not let anyone tell you there's a right and a wrong way to hold your crochet hook, because I promise you there is not. The same thing goes for holding yarn. Tons of different ways to do it. This is how I do it. This is my working yarn that's attached to the ball. These are my 3 fingers, and it goes under my index. And I kind of pull it here. This allows me to control my tension, which you're gonna find important as you start doing stitches. If you don't, it'll be really loose and you can't really grab it. So this kind of helps me create the exact same tension on all my stitches, which is what I want because I want all my stitches to look the same. Just like this hand, I move this around quite a bit. I readjust, but I let the yarn feed in this way. I've seen some people wrap around their hands. Wrapping around the pinky is another common one, but I like doing the 3 fingers and then over the index. But just like a hook, there's no wrong way to do it. Whatever allows you to hold the tension and kind of get some movement going so you can actually crochet. One of the basic skills of crochet is kind of learning how to do a square. That will teach you some of the basics and it will kind of get you more comfortable before you move on to some more difficult stuff. To start a square, you have to start with chains. And a lot of people are like, I've never crocheted before, but I can do chains. So you're gonna love this because we're gonna work on those chains. To actually start our chain pieces, which is like the foundation of our crochet, we have to start with a slip knot to get this onto our hook. Because right now, it's just gonna fall off. So you need something for your hook to grab onto. If you've done slip knots before, it's whatever method you like. Apparently there's a tons of different ways to do slip knots as well. This is what I like to do. I like to twist and pull through. Your slip knot should come undone easily. So again, I twist and pull through for my slip knot. This is my tail, my dead end, the yarn that's done. This is not attached to the ball. This is the side that's attached to the ball or the skein of yarn. I'm gonna insert my hook from the tail end towards the skein and pull tight. You don't want it too tight that you can't move it. You don't want it too loose, it falls off. So just kind of like snug. I got some movement, but it's not gonna like fall off. As you're doing your first chains, it might be helpful to hold the tail with your hook hand. This will give you some more tension and just a little easier to work with. A chain is when you put the yarn on top of your hook and bring it through the loop that's on your hook. This technique of putting the yarn on top of your hook is called a yarn over. So you're going to yarn over and pull. I twist my hook down so that it can slide through the loop without getting stuck. My hand holding my yarn, I'm moving up as I create more chains, so I have something to grab onto. If you want to start over with crochet, it's super easy. If you come from the knitting side, you have to know the special stitch of how to undo stitches. It is not the same with crochet. You can take out your hook and then just pull, and your crochet work's gonna come undone. You can do this with all the stitches that I see today, that I show you today. So if you're coming from one of our beginner kits, you have one skein of yarn, pull it out, try a new stitch, do it some more. You should have enough yarn to do a few squares, but I highly recommend undoing it and kind of getting more comfortable and really trying to practice those skills. I'm going to show you one stitch called a single crochet. This is probably one of the easiest stitches in crochet. It's the most basic. I would say it's used the most, especially in things like amigurumi and stuffed animals, because it's a nice small tight stitch. We're going to start with our slip knot. And then we're going to do some chains. Now this is a practice square, so I'm going to go about 11 chains. If you were doing a blanket, you might want 200 chains. Or a scarf, if you start from the smaller end, you might want 50. So this is going to be the bottom of our square. So I'm going to do 11, just so I can show you the stitch. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You might be asking yourself, well, why did she go to 11 instead of just going through 10 if we're just doing a little square? That's because you have to turn back the other direction now, and so we have to go taller. So right now we're on this line, but we want to add a row, so we want to get up here. So we need one chain to kind of turn our direction, which will make sense a little bit later, don't worry. When I start doing my single crochets, I'm gonna skip this 11th chain. And I'm gonna go into the 10, 9, 8, 7, all the way down. Experts are gonna tell you there's a certain spot on the chain you should put your hook. I'm here to tell you, you're a beginner. Just learn to crochet. All the exact details will come later. Our goal right now is to crochet. So this was my 11th. This is my 10th. I'm going to insert my hook into the 10th. I'm going to tighten it a little bit. I'm going to yarn over and pull through just one of the loops on your hook. Now you should have 2 on your hook. Then I'm going to yarn over again and pull through both of the loops. And that's a single crochet. I want to go to the next chain. I'm going to yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both. I'm going to continue this all the way down, so I do it 10 times. If I'm going too fast on YouTube, you can change the speed of the video in the corner, so it might help to slow it down if you need to see a little bit more clearly. Here I am in my last one. This was my slip knot. You don't have to do anything with that. We're not gonna crochet into it or anything like that. And we have our first row. To add another row, we need to chain one. So you're gonna yarn over and pull through our chain, and then we can turn our work. This was our chain, so we're gonna skip this and go into our stitch. Each of these, where's my, oh, there we go. Each stitch looks like a little V. It has a front loop and a back loop. Here's the back, here's the front. When we place our single crochets in, you want to go under both loops. Then you can do your single crochets. Crocheting in either the front or the back is a technique that you'll learn later, but for the most part, if it says single crochet, it is talking about going under both of the loops. At the end of this row, you should still have 10 because we're placing one in every stitch. Once you get to the end, you might find out when you're starting crochet, it's a little difficult to see your last stitches. I use a stitch marker sometimes to mark my first or my last stitch when I see that beautiful V, so that when I do my chain one and turn, and I work the other direction, I can see my last stitch as I come up on it. So I'm coming up right on it. That was number 9. I take out my marker and then you can do your stitch. Whatever's easier for you, so you can get those nice clean edges. Well, that's how you do a single crochet. I'm gonna make a little square and then I'm gonna show you how we do this thing called fastening off, which is like when we're done with the square and we're not gonna do anything else with your piece and we're finished. Here's my little tiny square and I'm gonna fasten off. So make sure you're done. If you wanna take this apart and do it again, now's your chance. Don't cut your yarn if you want to redo your square. But I'm finished, so I'm gonna leave quite a few inches. I'm gonna cut my yarn. I have my scissors and cut. Don't cut it super close. Leave a few inches to work with. Fastening off, we're going to pull our loop through itself so it's not a loop anymore and it can't come undone unless we cut it super close. But you can't just leave this tail and you can't just knot it and cut it off because then it'll come apart. We need to do this thing called weaving in our ends. So I'm going to put my tail on my tapestry needle. And the goal is to stick this tail through the square in different directions so it doesn't come undone. So let's start maybe this direction. I'm going in between the stitches as best as I can. I'll go this direction, so I'm going down through the stitches. I'm kind of pulling it out so I don't pull it too tight. I'll do it once more in this direction. And now we can cut it pretty close to the base. Because now for it to come undone, it has to go this way, that way, and this way, which is unlikely. Even if you pull and tug it a little bit, it's still within the stitches. You're gonna repeat the same thing with this tail. Well, that's how you make your first little square. I'm now gonna show you how to do a half double crochet and a double crochet. You know, for our single crochets, how we did that extra chain? So we had 11, and then after each row, we did chain 1. For a half double crochet, it's a little bit taller, so we're gonna do 2 chains. So right now I have 12 chains on my hook. And to start a half double crochet, we're gonna yarn over before we put it in the chain. So I'm yarning over and I'm gonna skip 2. 1, 2. So I go into the third. Then I'm gonna yarn over and pull through 1. So you have 3 loops on your hook. Then you yarn over and pull through all 3. So again, yarn over, insert into the chain, yarn over, pull through 1, and then yarn over, pull through all 3. If you're struggling to kind of go through all 3, remember to turn your hook down so you slide through the loops and you're not getting stuck. At the end of this row, you should still have 10 if you chained 12. My last one, and that was 1 row. At the end of every row, we're going to chain 2. 1, 2, and then turn our work. And then you could just do your half doubles. A double crochet is a little bit taller than a half double crochet, and it needs 3 chains instead of 2. So I have 13 chains. I'm going to yarn over and skip 3, 1, 2, 3, insert my hook, yarn over, pull through, so you have 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull through 2. Again, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull through 2. at the end of this row, you're going to want to chain 3. Those extra chains at the end are called the turning chain. For single crochet, it's 1, half double, it's 2, and double crochet is 3. Generally speaking, you might find a crochet pattern that has you do double crochets but only chain 2. And that's because the designer wants it to look just a little different. So make sure you are checking that. But if you're just practicing squares, for single crochet it's 1 chain, half double it's 2, and then double crochet it's 3. And this helps keep our edges nice and clean. So I'm at the end of the row, so I'm going to chain 3, turn my work. Because our chains can be a little tall, it might help to put that stitch marker back in so you can see them. But now you can turn the other direction and do your double crochets. Single crochet, half double, and double crochets are 3 of the most common stitches used in crochet. So if you do some practice squares of them, you're going to get more comfortable. It'll start to make more sense as you move on to some bigger patterns. You can also practice holding your hook in a different way, holding your yarn differently, seeing what works for you and what's most comfortable. And don't forget to practice weaving in those ends, because that's one of the most important skills you can learn in crochet to make sure your beautiful work doesn't come undone. Thank you so much for joining me today in this video. I hope you had a great time kind of learning the basics of crochet and what's it all about, and some basics to kind of help you start your first projects. If you have any questions, please comment below or reach out to me over email. Email is definitely the best way to get a hold of me if I'm not answering to your comment. I don't always see them. But if you have any ideas for new videos or subjects that you want covered in crochet, comment down below. I'm starting to do videos like magic rings and crochet terminology and just kind of teaching people more about crochet. So if you have any ideas, I'm totally open to them and I'd love to hear them. If you like this video and you want to learn more, please like and subscribe. It helps grow the channel. I love providing videos for you guys. And the more subscribers I get, the easier it is for me to make videos. Again, my name is Kendall and I will see you in the next video. Bye!